How's it going, everyone? I'm Mike and welcome back to Top Crypto, and today we are going to talk about another amazing game called Outer Ring. But before we start, please notice our disclaimer. Since I'm not a financial advisor, and this video is for informational and educational purposes only, so without further ado, let's begin. Behold, the game Outer Ring. Outer Ring is an MMORPG video game in a science fiction and fantasy universe. Based on the economic play-to-earn concept. Explore the space freely on the planet of Unown and interact with other species to survive space. The game vision. To be the game of the year in 2022 and perpetuate different sagas / expansions for the next 5 to 10 years. To link the persistent virtual world with the real economy, allowing direct interaction between the two of them. The company. Maniac Panda Games is the brand created by Windex Technologies for its gamification and video games division. Windex Technologies is a technology company made up of an interdisciplinary team dedicated to the development of applications in gamification, with its own developments as well as for third-party companies. Its components come from the video game company. The game is deployed on a server farm server cluster, creating a unique and persistent virtual world in which players interact with each other in real time, creating a social network within the game, enhanced by the possibility of forming clans or groups of players, which encourages loyalty to its components. The community is very important to Outer Ring and the game universe will be affected by players' decisions, creating a living ecosystem that is constantly evolving. The game story, the planets of the Indabi Nebula are populated by countless races and species, each one more strange and extravagant than the previous one. But only 5 will decide with their acts the course of the recent history of the Outer Ring. Here are the types of races you can choose from the game. Earthlings. Stubborn, resilient, and greedy. These are the words that can perfectly summarize the Earthling temperament. Originating from Earth and with only a few decades of space travels under their belt, Earthlings are constantly improvising and adapting to survive. Their story in the Outer Ring begins after a nuclear winter that made Earth uninhabitable and forced them to travel space in search of a new home. Now, the Earthlings lead the Federation, an organization hoping to bring stability to the universe and acknowledge humans as the superior race. The Vayans. Elegant, yet vicious, the Vayans are war-hungry beings, dedicating their entire lives hunting, fighting, and killing. The Vayans have devoted their lives to Vassal, the black hole they perceive as the god of death. Perceiving death by Blade as a means of liberation, they hunt across space, freeing creatures from the torment of life, offering them eternal rest in the void of Vassal. The Vayans ended up in the Outer Ring after Vassal expanded and absorbed their solar system. Perceiving this as a call to action, the remaining Vayans decided to comb space and spread the sweet gift of death. Oracles, once rightful rulers of the mightiest empire the universe has ever seen, the Oracles are the proudest beings in the universe, as well as the most blinded by their success. Being fragile mollusk-like creatures, the Oracles had to devise impenetrable exoskeletons to give them a fair chance at survival. But after the creation of the suits, they turned to be godlike creatures with the ability to connect to any device, to absorb and calculate information almost as fast as a computer. Despite their emotional attachment to their empire, they are attached to cold, rational facts, and obsessed with science and progress. After their empire got dismantled by their own greed, the Oracles were forced to seek refuge in the Outer Ring, where they hoped to rebuild their empire anew. Scavengans, organized in a complex system of almost 50 castes, the Scavengans are considered the least advanced creatures of the universe. As their bodies produce fluids that can turn into medicinal poultices, Scavengans were hunted down by Vayan fighters, and they were forced out of their home planet. While most Scavengans are still scavengers of space, collecting reusable parts to create their own machines, a few unlucky ones, once they reached the Outer Ring, they were infected by a parasite that took control of their minds and actions. Now, most Scavengans still traverse space, leading a nomadic life, while those infected are a fearful military power living under the parasite's command, aiming to spread the virus and take control of every living organism in the Outer Ring. MECHS, the MECHS is a complex structure, devised by the Oracles, and currently, they are the only fully artificial beings in the universe. While they were originally designed for war, as the perfect weapon against the infected Scavengans and the war-hungry VAANS. The mechs achieved sentience and broke free from the tethers of their creators. Once free, the mechs dedicated their lives to finding the meaning of existence and constructing a brighter future for all the races of the universe. Most mechs are wayfarers, traveling from one planet to the next, gathering experiences, while some are still at Mech Hub, the planet of the mechs, where the world's entire history is safely stored and under their protective gaze. Here are the roadmap updates. Milestone 1, Great Silver City, GSC. First ring length of 28 weeks, Death System, length 4 weeks, Text Chat length 2 weeks, The Battle Arena length 6 weeks, Bestiary plus DNA System length 3 weeks, Pets and Bots length for 12 weeks. Milestone 2, GSC Second Ring, length for 24 weeks, Squads length for 4 weeks, Clans plus Factions, length for 4 weeks. Maps System Outer Space, and Ships length for 8 weeks. Milestone 3, GSC Third Ring, length for 2 weeks, still upcoming, same as Milestone 4. The game token, Angel 3%, this token supply is reserved for equity investor. This provides early investors a cushion and a chance to help de-risk their early investment by providing approximate 20% of the investment value back in token value at the specified launch price. Seed 10%, this round will be reserved for top diamond partners to onboard their community generals. Private sale 20%, this round is reserved for hire their VCs who have a proven track record for supporting the project and carrying their weight. IDO 6%, this round is reserved specifically for top their metaverse and gaming launchpads. Liquid 10%, 10% liquidity reserve is quite high depending on team's discretion. This could be lowered and reallocated to another pool, perhaps Mort Info staking / in-game rewards. Treasury 20%, these tokens are reserved for the project's growth and development in the future phases of the ecosystem. They can be used for bounty or marketing programs, incentives to grow the game. Staking in-game rewards 26%, extremely important pool served for liquidity providers and contributors of the Outer Ring ecosystem. Advisors at 5%, token reserved for all advisors for the advisor services and ongoing support. For the team 2%, token reward incentives for core team development bonuses and expansions. Some players never hesitate to ask this several questions, so we will share it to you as well. On what OS can it be played? The game is being developed for computers running Windows, Mac OS and Linux. While support for all these 3 operating systems is planned to be available on full release. Will I need a NASA computer to play Outer Ring? Definitely not. We're working to keep Outer Ring available on mid and low-range computers. On what platforms will Outer Ring be available? Outer Ring will have its own launcher, available in Windows, Mac OS and Linux. Is Outer Ring based on real history? No. Outer Ring is based on a dystopian future, based on the eponymous novel Outer Ring Saga. What kind of game is Outer Ring? Outer Ring is a sci-fi fantasy MMORPG, massively multiplayer online role-playing game, currently in development. An open world maintained by play-to-earn and player-driven economy systems. Mix old-school systems, Ultima Online or Meridian 59, and newer and more diverse concepts including blockchain technologies and NFTs brought from games as disparate as Plainside, Smite or AXIE Infinity to achieve a perfect balance. We believe that some MMOs have been designed with the goal and desire to appeal to all gamers, all of the time. We believe the future of MMOs is all about making games, targeting specific gamers' niches. We also want to attract all casual gamers, and those interested in the real economy and blockchain that powers Outer Ring. Here are some of the partners of the game. Dext Force Ventures, AV Star Capital, Dreamboat Capital, Bello Baba, MH Ventures, Black Dragon, Meta Brands. Here are the teams and minds behind Outer Ring. Daniel Valdez, the CEO. Javier Laram, the CTO. Maria Alejandra Figueroa, the CMO. Pedro Miranda, the CBDO. And Ricardo Ceballos, the COO. Now let's go visit the Outer Ring Twitter page. We are going to launch the IDO Initial Dex offering on March 2nd, and we want to introduce the launchpads that will help us, Babylon's NFT leading game aggregator and NFT marketplace, BSC. Outer Ring joined Twitter back in August 2020 and currently has 11.6k followers. And that's all for Outer Ring. Come visit our channel, hit that subscribe button to stay updated on Top Crypto. Thank you for watching.